external healing. Frick! Not going to use external healing items. About the drum. Yeah, I believed him from the first. I mean, no, Gypsum, well-known liar here. He tries to lie and deceive me all the time. Dude, I swear, sometimes I ingest caffeine and I just don't feel it. Sometimes right now I'm just like so hyped. I'm like just so jumpy right now. Like, it wasn't bad, and then I peed, and now it's bad. So, yeah, I just feel like it's so dependent on, like, the mood I was already in. Like, I've never been a, oh, I drink caffeine and, I go from being tired to, like, I'm alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. It's like, if I'm already up, it just makes me go more. But if I'm tired, it like, doesn't really get me going. It exists because extra Sumereko exists. But yeah, for those optional fights, like I've said, I might force them within their respective level caps. I might say I can do them whenever because they have an item, so like there's benefit to doing them early because you get the item earlier, but maybe the fight's too hard, so you postpone the fight till you're high level to make it easier, but then you don't get the item till later. I'm not sure. There's a lot of hardcore Nuzlocke, like I mentioned, hardcore Nuzlocke for Puff Dance are not that done, so there's not really an established strategy for some of this. So not exactly established like set of rules that other people use. So I'm mostly just guiding things based on what I deem is probably best. And there's a lot of let's do some runs and see how it goes. Yeah, but you know what the biggest problem with that is? Getting Shinky. The only base 600 statted puppet that's not like Power Yukari or something with a negative ability, or like Suika. The only pseudo-legendary. Yeah. Like, Shinky, I either find via starter, or she's like 5% encounter in one area, right? Like, that's the hard thing about Shinky. Like, the odds of me seeing her are very low. But, although, there's a lot of puppets that fit that category, right? In fact, Remy and Flan are even rarer than Shinky, technically. Miko is basically as rare. Although the fact that she's like early game does make her more likely. Because you'll get more runs to her, but still generally pretty rare, like 5% one area. I mean, it's like 16%. I knew one of them is like 3%. I knew Flan was, I didn't remember Remy's numbers. Is Renosuke in a pot, or is he doing pot? Game has reincarnation. Yes, but I will not be using reincarnation. I don't know exactly how it affects. affects the found at in Puppet Dance, but at least with like Pokemon breeding in Pokemon like breeding and hardcore Nuzlocke is technically doable in like the very, very, very hard to come by stance. It's essentially non-existent, and I'm treating that as well. Yes, the IVs are very, very useful. IVs in your less important stats are not that useful, or don't really matter, of course, but like, you know, if you're trying to make something a special attacker, the difference between E and S is massive. Don't worry too much if you're not doing comp. Well, here's the thing. I know it's a very extreme fight, but let's take the Boruto fight, right? When I was doing that fight casually in my casual playthrough, the method of how I was able to do that fight was maximizing my IVs on Mayra. Mayra without perfect IVs was unable to do that fight. Well, but with perfect IVs, she was able to clean that fight. And one thing I know from watching Nuzlocke, especially hardcore Nuzlocke, is that IVs really matter. Sometimes they matter less, also depending on the game. Some games are harder than others. The harder the game, generally the more relevant they are. But I feel like in nature, like one thing about this game as well, compared to some like official Pokemon games that some of the ROM hacks have, like some Pokemon ROM hacks, are going to have all opponents' Pokemon are S rank in every stat. And that's the same thing here. Like, all the major bosses have perfect stats. So, trying to be able to match... also, Akihuman. Full S puppet. The odds of that are nigh impossible. You get some really good puppets, but like a perfect puppet is just a perfect naturally occurring puppet is just nigh impossible. It's like in Pokemon, okay? Getting a max IV Pokemon is just ridiculous. In Puppet Dance, it's technically easier because there's slightly less variation, like different variations, but. Here's the problem, I don't think in my Nuzlocke I'm gonna get as lucky if I get a Gengetsu as I did with my perfect speed Gengetsu. Hitting the nuts. Different values for IV. Yeah, compared to 32 for Pokemon, so like the odds of getting perfect in Puppet Dance is definitely easier, but it's still kind of dream levels luck we're looking at there. Like with middling IV over non-green with S, yeah, like the mark can still be great. Although not every puppet wants green. Green plus S, yeah. Didn't prove it's nothing but Fs. I wonder how that does into, Well, that's the other thing. Early game, IVs are less important. It's the higher the level the puppets or Pokemon get, the more important IVs are. It's the same thing with EVs as well, or in this game, just the stat points. Right? Like, the later into the game you go, the more relevant they are. magic equivalent. There really isn't. Just kind of due to the nature of how Puppet Dance treats its style changes. Could you move to the right? Stupid slut. Why the power invested in homing? That was sketchier than it needed to be. You have to wipe the Isuwako. If I wipe the Isuwako, then I'm glad I made it that far. Yes, yeah, that's the thing. Because of how they treat style changes and level ups, it's like there really isn't a magic hurt. Yeah, but S doesn't have S plus or S minus, right? S is just S. If I'm not mistaken. So there's 16, which is actually, with the original Pokemon, with DVs, that's how it used to be. When they changed the IVs, they made it go from 0 to 31, but back in the day, with DVs, it was 0 through 15, words are hard sometimes. Yeah. Right at the end. I also typed it down too much. The way that like EVs versus Mark work, I'm gonna use the Pokemon idea for this. Pokemon logic. I think it translates because I'm pretty sure based on how, assuming that the stat rank of like E through S affects the same way IVs do. The logic is the lower the base stat, the more the IVs matter compared to nature, or in Puppet Dance Mark. The higher the base stat, the more the mark matters compared to IVs. Because IVs are just a base addition, while mark is multiplication. At least that's how it is with natures and IVs. So I assume it works the same way in Puppet. Ooh, boo! I almost trapped myself. Best version of Tenchi. Well, what it is competitively in the middle of a run could also vary. It also might vary a bit depending on like what you need. Right? That's another thing that's gonna be interesting for a Nuzlocke, is like sometimes you lack a certain type. And even if it's technically not optimal, like for like, oh, what's theoretically the best version of this puppet, maybe you need a fire type, right? Maybe you're just desperate for a fire type. Or, you know, insert X type, and you're like, you really need this, you know, you really need insert styled puppet just because you really need this type of Pokemon. Or puppet, excuse me. Damn, I'm kind of sexy with it sometimes, dude. Holy moly. Tenji's did use all type that strat, yeah. But the other 2 slots to aim for? Probably just 2 more Tenchis, right? Like, if extra Tenchi's so good, why not use a second one, right? What do you mean by realms? What are the realms? Iku. Oh, yeah, yeah, obviously. You use 2 different Ikus. 11, that's also a good idea. Or if you really want Scarlet Red Rhapsody, you could use 1 Iku and, like, 1 Suika. Power Suika, you're a coward. See the cursed opener. What do you mean cursed? It's only cursed if it doesn't work. And tell me, did it work? Your G works there when I breathe in. Yeah. Whoa. Whew, almost messed up that one. I don't know if I should shut up and really lock it. You fucking bastard, Fairy. Holy shit. I don't know if I should shut up and lock in, or if some of my rambling is helping keep me, like, in check, so I'm not, like, too stressed. This is very good pace. Did I drop the extra life? Wait, did I actually drop the extra life? Oh, that was not pleasant. Did you not notice? I was too locked in. I'm a little stressed right now. Little tense. Yeah, and paying attention to score and items is not usually top my priority. Moses, my beloved. Hydro Camouflage is harder than Moses. Absolutely. Okay, well, I am down a life, but I am on 2 miss, so... Last stage 6 was a 2 miss. Let's see how it goes this time. There's a lot that can go wrong in this stage. Camouflage is disgusting. It can be disgusting. Sometimes she goes high, and Camouflage is just, like, super smooth. Could you calm down? Could you calm down, Fairy? I don't like this Fairy. It stresses me out. I mean, guess what the 2 misses on the run are? Hydro Camouflage and Momiji. My two most common misses, probably. I gotta go. Get me out of that non, please. I don't like how fast my heart rate's going. Don't divine my crop, please. Not a Divining Crop fan. Get me out of that garbage. Okay, Taurus. Pretty generous, Taurus. Make sure you go for the kiss. Huh? Baited her the wrong direction. Gonna have to let another bubble, but that's fine. Source is a stress test. Give me some good luck here, please. Don't make me have to play out of my mind. Oh, disgusting line. Fuck. Okay, I threw in the last one. Still a PB. Still a PB. Oh, the first miss is fine. That second miss was really sad. But a 4 miss. Fearful mindset. I love Vow G, and I have so much time on that. The problem is when you're doing Vow G under pressure. Devaug is not fun under pressure. Yeah, I missed the life after Sinai, Alan. But hello.